And we welcome you to ACC Basketball, presented by T. Rowe Price, inside Cameron Indoor. First meeting all time between Incarnate Word out of the Southland Conference and top 5 Duke. The Blue Devils off of back-to-back comeback wins, led by the talented freshman Cooper Flagg, reigning ACC Rookie of the Week and one of the top players in America today. Alongside of Debbie Antonelli, the Hall of Famer, I'm Roy Philpott. So glad you could join us. So, back-to-back comeback wins for number 4 Duke. Exams start tomorrow. What's on Jon Scheyer's checklist as they get ready for this final stretch?
Focus, right? You can't get off to that slow start that they've had the last couple of games. And attention to detail. So keep it simple. Run the floor hard, advance the ball, cut hard, know your assignments on defense. I think those are the basic attention to detail he's looking for.
That's one of the tallest teams in America. Third-year head coach Jon Scheyer starting 3 freshmen a good portion of this very young season. And plenty to talk about tonight as you take a look at just the teams that start those 3 first-year players. Not many, and Duke at the top of that list in terms of rankings. And let's see what happens here tonight, Debbie. Incarnate Word coming in at 5-4, 1-1 in the Southland Conference. They were picked 7th in that league. Duke, of course, at 7-2. Mentioned the comeback win at Louisville this past weekend. A very quick turnaround. Less than 48 hours later, here we go. Malawach enters the circle. Jaden Williams in for the Cardinals. Duke controls the opening tap. Underway, Cameron.
Man-to-man defense to start.
Early touch for Flagg. Knipple off and running. Partially rejected inside. And a turnover. UIW gets it in their first possession. Bailey Anderson, Heyman Williams. Jordan Pike returns to his native North Carolina. Grew up in Greensboro. He was excited about his return. And an early foul goes against Sion James.
Don't let the record be deceiving for UIW. That's the way we're going to reference them tonight.
I like it.
This is a good team. They move the ball. They're well coached. Shane Hireman has done an excellent job just getting his group together, staying connected, and working on the detail of their own offense.
First possession for the Cardinals. Playing the same league as McNeese State. Considered the favorite in that conference. Inside, a block. Malawach snuck in. The help side D. And a foul call.
So what you watch for with Duke is they're changing disruptive defense. And, of course, with the perimeter size that Jon Scheyer has this year, you can do some things differently on the defensive end. We saw a trap on a side ball screen, and when you have Malawach on the backside of your defense, there's a lot of things you can do to press up on teams and make it challenging.
2 fouls on James. Less than a minute to play. Blue Devils also without the services of Malik Brown tonight. He's got a toe injury. It's not considered long-term, but coming off 11 rebounds in the win at Louisville, something certainly to watch to see how long he could be out of the lineup.
One of the things you want to do when you go against Duke in here is you want to try to shorten the possession, shorten the game, shrink the court as much as you can.
Malawach the lob and the finish. Duke's on the board.
I mean, he's 7'2" with a 7'5" wingspan. Absolutely incredible.
Here comes Jalen Anderson. Outstanding 3-point shooter. The mid-range is there.
See Malawach hands down on that, and he's got to have his hands up because he can affect the vision, not only just alter shots.
I think he's only scratched the surface of what he's going to be capable of by the end of this season. Talking to Jon Scheyer this morning, he certainly felt that way. The roster, so many freshmen involved, tend to believe that'll be the case. In and out for Flagg, his first triple.
So the 1-3-1 is going to allow corner triples, and Jon Scheyer's team spent some time working on this at shoot-around today, trying to get the ball to the corner to make a play.
Stolen by Foster, and Foster was bumped. That'll go on Jalen Anderson, his first. He called the corner 3 like Siberia to this team, which I found interesting.
Well, he was really concentrated on his team cutting. you know, changing their pace, cutting hard. When they get to the different splits, how you change your pace on that. And getting to the corner is important for stretching the defense.
Not that there's anything wrong with Siberia. You just don't think a lot of people live there want to go there.
I'm interested in Siberia.
It's cold.
Yeah, it's way too cold.
Flag spots Proctor. Now Caleb Foster inside, tried to spin it around, couldn't do it. And the rebound grabbed by Heyman.
One of the things John Shire's team wants to do early is force UIW to call that first timeout, right? They've had to call a couple of timeouts early in the game because they have trailed early.
Open three, that's Heyman, in and out. Pike grabbed the rebound, lost it for a minute. Back outside to Heyman. 0 for 2 on that stretch, and the putback by Williams. So Jaden Williams active in the early going.
Jaden Williams, a 6'9" freshman, doing a nice job. And because UIW has been able to score, they can set up this half-court 1-3-1, and they stay in it for the possession.
Corner triple, Knipple connects. Tied at 5, more than 3 minutes in. Kahn shooting a blistering 52% from deep at home so far in his freshman campaign. Bailey, an air ball, flag clears. Here's Proctor baseline.
This is what they worked on today. When they don't have a transition opportunity, John Shire calls it neutral when there's no advantage, and then they run their stuff. And look at that, wide open Knipple.
Off the mark, and the rebound pops out to Foster, and a foul in the process.
This is a great job by Foster to get a piece of the paint. And even though that pass was low, did you see how Knipple didn't drop his hands, he dropped his body? As a shooter, you never want your hands to drop below your waist. That was an excellent job. That's a textbook shooter right there by Knipple.
That's fundamentals 101. Debbie Antonelli, I love that.
Well, that's what Steph Curry does. I mean, if you watch Steph Curry, he's dropping his hips all the time.
Foster drops it off. Gumbo just checked in. So with no Malik Brown, Gumbo expected to get more playing time. Heyman another three, flag another rebound. Oh. Gumbo lost the handle down low.
There needs to be a little bit more of a sense of urgency, I think, right here for Duke. Right? They need to pick up their effort. You know, this is the number 4 team in the country. Right? You don't want to give anybody confidence on Coach K court.
Hand off to Anderson, a step back three on the way. Yeah, the slow starts have been a bit of an issue at times this year for a variety of different reasons. Proctor, no, flag. Fresh 20 goes to work inside and too easy.
At 17 years of age, I am just incredibly impressed at his poise and patience. He doesn't force anything. He's an unselfish kid by nature. And he has an advantage on the block, and he knows that's his time to score.
Top of the key, Robinson, no. Perhaps Cooper learned a lot of those skills from Mom.
Well, his mom, Kelly, was a really good player at Maine. I'm sure Dad Ralph wants to take a little credit for it, too.
As he should.
But we're giving all the credit to Kelly tonight.
Little give and go flag outside. Caleb Foster. And cleared finally by Incarnate Wern. That was Bailey. 7-5, Duke with the lead. Still waiting for that under 16 media timeout. Just underway at Cameron Indoor. None of their motion set.
They just switch all that action on the top of the floor, does Duke's defense.
Shot clock under 5. Robinson heaves one.
Incarnate Wern's had some open looks. They haven't been able to knock him down.
0 of 6 from deep so far, to your point. Foster spins away from trouble, outside to Proctor. Gets outside to Flag. He'll get it back. Proctor left wide open.
I watched Tyrese Proctor warm up. He didn't miss between the slots. He did a fantastic job shooting it deep, getting himself ready to go. I think he has really improved his game and his range outside the arc.
Now you go back to those 5 threes he hit against Kansas last month. Shooting percentage climbing. An awkward runner nearly went off the glass for Anderson. Here's Proctor. Kind of a delayed Euro. Contact, no whistle, and finally out of bounds. Back to the Cardinals. 10-5. Duke with the lead. Is presented by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. During that first commercial break, our own Debbie Antonelli, the Hall of Famer, it was announced here at this capacity crowd, winning the Kurt Gowdy Media Award to single out members of the media for outstanding contributions in basketball, and a nice standing ovation by the Cameron Crazies. And I know that was a special moment for you. It's special for me to be a part of it just for a couple of moments, but an incredible couple of minutes here at Cameron.
Well, thank you so much, Roy. Thank you to the Duke Athletic Department, Nina King, and everyone here. I got to spend some time with John Jackson today. I missed Coach K by a second up there in his office. John Shire spent some great time with us. Mutual respect here in Cameron. Thank you.
8-0 run by Duke. Blue Devils by 5. Cardinals with possession. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, so glad you could join us tonight. The day before exams. That quiet hush around campus today. Three-pointer no good by Robinson. Mason Gillis checks in, grabs a board. Foster the spin and dish that one out of bounds.
See, that's part of Malawach's game that he's going to have to grow, right? I mean, his shot chart is right under the basket, so when he gets position in there, he needs to be ready with his hands, not just the lobs, but be able to catch it and dunk it.
Well, you did the research. Malawach, if you look at his offensive skill set and 2-point field goals made this year, he doesn't put the ball on the floor a lot, quite frankly, because he doesn't have to. But it's interesting to look at the shot selection and where he is actually attempting shots. Does have the 1 triple. Outside of that, it's closely around the rim. TJ Ford Jr. from downtown. And yes, indeed, that is the son of the legend, the former player of the year in Texas, TJ Ford. And this is what we're talking about with Malawach.
Yeah, this is a small sample because we've only had 9 games, but he's made 25 2-point baskets, 16 are pick and roll, 6 are offensive rebound putbacks, and then drop-offs, meaning somebody makes a play off the bounce to get him the ball. 1 dribble.
1 dribble and 25 2-pointers made.
Thank you,
incredible.
Synergy. Thank you, Synergy.
The lead down to 2.
Get more bang.
Duke leading Incarnate Word, and for John Shire, he told us earlier today it's games like this that scare him the most, and they didn't want to get off to a slow start. You look at what's happened against top-ranked Kansas, number 2 Auburn this weekend at Louisville, the conference opener. Not the kind of starts we're used to seeing here in Durham.
Not at all. I mean, I think they need to get into him a little bit right here, right? I mean, I want UIW to feel my presence right now on the defensive end. I think they've had some open looks. They haven't knocked them down, but Duke's got to pick it up. If you can't get anything in transition, it's because you can't get a stop on defense. You're letting these guys hang around.
Shot clock down to 2. That did not graze the rim, and a shot clock violation.
So we talk about situational offense a lot, Roy, and that's not a really good ATO for Duke.
I didn't believe Coach Shire when he said that today, by the way. These games scare him more than any other. Maybe there was something to that, at least to start.
Keep it simple, stay connected, make sure you communicate your switches, make sure you have great ball pressure. When you have Malawach out there, you've got an extra ability to take a step closer to your defender, maybe a little bit up the line, a little bit more.
Heyman the step back, too strong. Sion James back on the floor with the 2 fouls. Isaiah Evans gets a touch coming in off the Duke bench.
One thing I would say about Malawach, watching him early and live, is he's got to do a better job with his hands. His hands got to be ready on offense. His hands have got to be high on defense.
Sion James bullies his way inside. So when you mention the hands too, it feels like you're talking about his ability to catch the basketball cleanly in traffic.
Like he wasn't ready to catch the pass earlier, and then when he rotates to help, his hands are almost lateral. They're not up and high like to be disruptive. Maybe alter a shot.
Fourth ranked Duke by 4. Nearly halfway home in our first half. Bailey, 2 to shoot. Gotta go.
Now that was high hands by Malawach. See, you got to shoot it over the stretch.
Evans, the quick trigger. And cleared by Williams. Now Duke starts tonight 2 of 8 from deep. The Incarnate Word just 1 of 8 from downtown.
You see Coach Hireman telling his guys, slow it down, shrink the game, shorten the possessions, use the clock. Make Duke guard side to side.
Shane Hireman, the former Tulsa guard, shares the same agent as John Shire. A multitude of commonalities led to this matchup, and for Incarnate Word, it's a great opportunity to showcase what you're trying to become on the road at a top 5 team in the ACC.
Picked 7th in the Southland Conference.
Gillis, that is an offensive foul. The shove with the elbow, that's going to be his first.
The other thing that John Shire wanted his team to do today was play off 2 feet.
Not sure we saw that there. Don't forget Saturday afternoon's ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader. Old rivals Syracuse and Georgetown square off for the 100th time, 2:30 Eastern. Then Jameer Watkins and FSU take on Tulane, the second game of the Auto Nation Orange Bowl Classic down in Sunrise. Duke already with 6 turnovers in this first half, leading by 4. Anderson delivers with a mid-range, no good. Cleared by Williams, no good, and blocked at the rim. And a foul on the penetration. Free throws coming.
Lamin Sabali going to the free throw line. He's got a couple of older sisters that play in the WNBA. Satu right now in Dallas. Nira is in New York, and New York won the championship this year.
Lamin Sabali at the stripe. For Incarnate Word.
Duke's got to
Evans picked up the foul. Excuse me, Debbie. That's his first.
Roy. Duke expects some pressure here. We've seen the 1-3-1 half court back into the 1-3-1 zone. Let's see if they change it up.
Oh, 2 at the stripe. The rebound cleared by Jordan Pike. Cardinals get it back.
In between 2 freshmen, which won't look good on film tomorrow.
Anderson high off the glass, no. Ripped away solidly again in a foul call as Knipple hit the deck. Shane Hireman looking on.
You got to throw it way up off the glass with Malawach there.
That was high.
And Sabali doing a great job of drawing another foul.
TJ Ford Jr. checks out.
5 team fouls on Duke. Now look for Duke right here to maybe trap on this baseline out of bounds. They were working on the situational defense today in shoot around.
Pops out to Williams, picked up by James. Incarnate Word coming off its first conference victory of the season in the Southland. Pike got a bit too fancy, turns it over. Here's Proctor, wants the 3. Black trying to tap it to himself. It'll stay with Duke. Well, the one thing John Shire told us today about Cooper Flagg, and you asked him the question, virtually everything has been said about the talented freshman already, just 9 games in. What hasn't been said And he said, you know, in a game like this, he will try to be too selfless. He won't try to get his necessarily early. He has a habit of building up his teammates first. It's incredible, but we have to remind him at times, hey, it's okay to be aggressive and to be assertive with a shot. Off the pick and roll, a foul. Flag was bumped inside.
You know, he's 17 years old. He's got the weight of the world on his shoulders when it comes to having the celebrity, having the attention. But he's a grounded kid because his parents are fantastic and they understand that sort of tough love that Jon Scheyer can provide, but also his mom Kelly can provide as well, because she's a baller and she understands it.
Last foul was on Pike. Knipple. Heyman clears.
All you want to do when you're 17 is play basketball and have fun with your teammates. And that's what the way Cooper Flagg approaches the game. When you watch him play, you see the pure joy that the kid plays with.
It was great today. Shoot around. The backdoor cut. Heyman. And a one-possession game. Less than 8 to go in the half.
I mean, Shane Heyerman has got to be pleased with the poise that his team has played with. They empty out the backside. They back cut. There's no help.
He gathered his team at center court after shoot-around today. Talked to them about the tradition, the history here in this arena. It has not gone lost on this group from San Antonio. And a foul call. Free throws coming when we come back to Cameron. 2-point game. 7:32 to go in the half.
Back in Cameron, and UIW's done an excellent job manipulating the 5-player, which is Malawach right here. Now watch, he's pulled away from the rim. Now watch this action right here. Knupple's guarding a non-shooter. Freezer right here. He takes his defender up and he back cuts. Look at the space inside. Malawach has his hands down. This is just a great play by UIW to back cut Duke's defense. The weak side needs to know personnel so you can have maybe a foot in the paint when you're guarding Sabley. I wouldn't have 2 feet out of the paint.
Knipple 94% at the line this season. UIW just 1 of 9 from deep, yet trailing by just 2. And we mentioned the quick turnaround after the road trip to Louisville. The comeback win there. Less than 2 days later, Duke starts the night shooting just 27.8%. You got Heyman going through the back door. You've got UIW trying to do everything in its power to be the hang-around team, and so far that's exactly what they are.
I love this for Jon Scheyer coming off the timeout. You got to speed the game up, so you go full court pressure. You got to make them feel you on the defensive end.
Hasn't happened yet, has it?
No, it has not, and I think UIW is comfortably running their stuff, and when you get back cut at Duke, that is not a good thing.
Well said. Robinson inside. Heyman triple team and rejected. They're going to count the bucket. It was on the way down. Malawach snuck in, and the lead down to just 2.
I like speeding up the game right here, and I like this effort. This is what I'm talking about. Look at Malawach go up and get it.
I don't know.
You didn't like it?
I don't know that that ball was going in or down, but it was close. Flag. Silky smooth.
Both his buckets have been back to the basket, overpowering his matchup.
Number 1 player in the ESPN 100. Paul Biancardi loved him from the get-go. So does the rest of America. His potential unquestioned.
Now look at the pressure Duke is applying on the ball handler. Lee, that's a contested tough 2, and that's the one they make. That was one of the best defensive plays that Duke had. I mean, they had great pressure on the ball.
Bailey said thank you very much.
Yeah, well, Bailey has had 41 in the game already this year, so that dude can score.
Blue Devils get it back, approaching 6 to play. Bailey second the Southland Conference in scoring, and there's a chance for 3.
Count it, and a dribble.
Second dribble on a main basket this season, right?
Malawach gets the ball away from the bucket and then just does a nice job, 1 dribble, and then doesn't run over the defender, right? Does an excellent job with his body control and handles the contact.
Second foul on Robinson. Did you talk to him pregame and tell him?
No, but it's literally a drop in the bucket for that guy, right? I mean, literally, he's just dropping it in the bucket.
Hey, come on, you've only had one dribble on all those two-point makes this year. Can you give us one more tonight? And that's what he just did. It's a big first step, too, when the ball hits the deck.
He covered a lot of ground. Duke switching in their man-to-man. Look at that dig by Malawach. That's another tough two.
Bailey, contested mid-range. Here's Knipple. Giant lead. Malawach the finish. And a timeout will be called by Incarnate Word. The lead at 7 here at Cameron Indoor. Come on, Malawach. We saw him run the floor, take the dribble, make the shot. He has been a little bit everywhere so far tonight.
I mean, this is a rim run. Straight to the front of the rim. Knipple does a nice job with the leave, and he puts it away. Jon Scheyer told us, we talk about him on the defensive end, but they're looking to get him the ball more offensively. I mean, he comes into the game averaging 7 points a game. I can see a double-double out of that guy as the conference play begins.
And maybe more often than not, he gets close to those numbers averaging for the season.
And without Malik Brown tonight, he's going to get a few extra minutes at the 5, and I think Cooper Flagg might play some 5.
Is that the small lineup for Duke?
There's no small lineup for Duke.
Flagg at the 5 feels like it's smaller.
They're the tallest team in the NCAA, and Florida State's the second tallest team, according to Ken Pom.
You and I both saw Florida State last week. You saw them against NC State. I had them down in Baton Rouge against LSU. They are tall, rangy. They switch everything.
There's a great trap on the baseline.
So Malawach doing his job defensively once again. 3 turnovers for Incarnate Word. And Malik Brown, the toe injury, not serious, not expected to be out long term, but not playing tonight. You see his numbers up at the Yum Center on Sunday.
He's a big part of the reason why I think Duke as a team is a right side of the box score team this year. I mean, assists, steals, tips, deflections, not just points and rebounds. It's all the other things on the right side of the stat sheet.
I like the left side where all the points are scored.
Yeah, I know, I like that too, but I'm telling you, like, this group of players has really come together early.
Foul inside, free throws coming. Veteran officiating crew tonight: Eric Lewis, Brett Hampton, Jenna Rito. And the Blue Devils set to shoot a pair. As Heyman just picked up the personal. Malawach at the stripe. 8 of 10 this season. Lead at 7. And come on, the freshman from South Sudan. We'll get one more. Don't forget, coming up Sunday afternoon, ACC Network Women's Basketball. It's a triple header. Miami and Pitt start us off at noon. Then number 14, North Carolina. Top 25, Georgia Tech over at Carmichael. And we'll finish up the day, Loyola McQueen and Clemson taking on Wake Forest.
The game of the day on Sunday is Georgia Tech, North Carolina. Nell Fortner has her team back in the top 25. They're undefeated, and she has, in a league full of great guards, she is led by a freshman named Danny Carnegie, and Tony Morgan's one of the best point guards in the league. So that's a good game to watch. I may have heard you talking with Mark Packer pregame, and I may have heard that you think Courtney Banghart at North Carolina has one of her best teams since she's been the head coach. I think it's the best team she's had in 6 years at North Carolina. There we go. They are very good defensively. You can't have enough guards. Alyssa Usby is one of the top athletes in the league. It's a very well put together schematic defense that plays hard and plays together. Second foul on Knipple. He'll have a seat on Jon Scheyer's bench. Lead at 8. Incarnate Word just 1 for its last 7. Proctor tipped it out of bounds. That's a tip deflection. You're trying to get, I don't know what Jon Scheyer's number is, but I've heard Rick Pitino talk about in getting into the 20s. Is that the right side of the box score there? That to me is the right side of the box score, yes. The right side of the stat sheet. TJ Ford Jr.
Trying to inbound it, and a 5-second violation. Couldn't do it. All right, so the defensive tenacity has been ratcheted up, it feels like, these last 3 minutes.
Well, coming off that last timeout when Jon Scheyer put his team in a full-court press and changed the pace of the game, they sped it up, and that's what they needed to do. It's a good coaching move by Coach Scheyer.
He was great with us today. It's the first time I've talked with him pregame in an environment like this. Proctor right down Main Street. 24-14, largest lead. Proctor with 5.
I think Jon Scheyer is always great with us. You know, you get to have a lengthy basketball discussion. It's about hoops. It's not about anything else. That's what I love.
You asked him a question which I found very interesting in regards to preparing for what's to come and seeing teams, maybe the postseason, that you will not see in the regular season. And you asked him the question, hey, is that something you guys scout way in advance? And his response?
No. He said, no, we're worried about the next game, the next opponent. I said, with all your staff, you're not breaking down Tennessee or Marquette or Houston or, you know, teams you might see that you haven't already played. Of course, you got the conference, so you know you got that taken care of. But I was curious to know how far in advance. I mean, like, I'm looking at Tennessee as a Final Four contender, a team I might see down the road.
They're number 1 in the country right now.
For a good reason.
Gumbo the rebound.
Alabama's another team on my list I'm keeping an eye on.
Coach Scheyer told us something he used to do a little bit more. Now, not as much. Tyrese Proctor gets the job done. For number 4, Duke the layup, he's got 5. And the lead in double figures. Back at Cameron, the lead at 10. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, number 4 Duke over Incarnate Word out of the Southland Conference. Cardinals coming in at 5-4. Duke at 7-2. Only losses to Kansas and Kentucky in both games. 1 possession in the final minutes. And Jon Scheyer told us today we learned a lot from those 2 games, and we learned a lot in facing the 2 bigs in those 2 games. Hunter Dickinson at Kansas, Janai Broome at Auburn. That was a win against Auburn, of course. But he said he likes how they've been able to figure things out after the fact. And that should bode well when conference play arrives next month.
Well, I think when you've had Mark Williams or Derek Lively on the back row of your defense as a rim protector and shot blocker, and I think that's when Duke has had some of their better teams recently. You go all the way back to the landlord blocking shots for Coach K. Those teams were good.
Does Malawach have that kind of potential?
I mean, I think he does.
You do?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, look at the size of him, man. Yeah. Look how mobile he is.
You don't see guys at 7'2" with a 7'5" wingspan move as easily and as quickly as Kaman does.
He has a standing reach of 9'8".
7 turnovers now for Duke. Lead down to 8.
We're back to the 1-3-1 by UIW.
So they did review the goaltending call during that last timeout. And it was a basket. And a foul goes against Foster. Davion Bailey back to the line, 71% free throw shooter. Bailey nails the front end of the 1-and-1. He's got 3 points, lead down to 7. Don't forget the annual ACC Huddle Bowl preview special Friday at 6 Eastern right here on ACC Network, the ESPN app. Take an in-depth look at all the ACC teams playing in a bowl game, plus college football playoff bracket preview with breakdowns and comprehensive analysis. And don't forget, you got SMU in the dance. You got Clemson in the dance. Mustangs at Penn State. Clemson at Texas in that first round. More is better when it comes to college football, Debbie.
Yeah, I'm ready to expand the playoffs already.
Oh, you want to go from 12 to 14?
Just let everybody in. Why not?
Proctor. mean you get 68 in men's basketball, right? Gillis. And out of bounds. Gumba could not corral it. Lead down to 6, 2:12 remaining in the half.
If you're Shane Hireman and you're holding Duke right now to 24 points with 2 minutes left in the half, this is a Duke team that averages nearly 81 points a game. And we've seen multiple changing defenses out of Coach Hireman. We've seen the 1-3-1. We just saw a 2-2-1 back into man. We've seen them mix it up, and Duke again is going to apply full court pressure, which I think is a good coaching move by Coach Shire. Speed the game up. Speed the pace. It doesn't have to be up and down faster. It could be court faster. There's a lot of ways you can change the rhythm of a game. Substitution, calling timeout, but you can with your defense as well.
Mike tried to split the double team, his second turnover. Sion James wide open. Pops out to Proctor, and another three. Well, the lid remains on this side of the floor. 90 seconds to go. Cooper Flag tries a triple. Davion Bailey in control. Well, Bailey can go off. We've seen him make a couple of tough shots already. And the Cardinals will slow it down. The minute remaining. Three-pointer all net by Anderson, and a timeout called. A one-possession game, and John Shire has seen enough.
He might give it to him right here, because that is poor connectivity on the defensive end and a lack of communication.
Three-point game. Less than a minute remaining in the first half. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, and a surprise score here at Cameron. And we saw that last three by Jalen Anderson.
I mean, watch this defensive effort right here. He's worried about the screen, Sion James, and Malawach is in semi-drop coverage right there. It's a great choice by Jalen Anderson. And it forces Duke to take the timeout.
Trapping at court pressure. Easy lob. Malawach downstairs connects. He's got 10 first half points.
It's a great weapon to have that size around the rim. It's also a great bailout.
Cardinals came into this game top 5 in America in three-point percentage. As a team, over 42%. They've been able to hang around so far. 9 to shoot. And one more look at that last lob.
I mean, this is just so simple. Look how spread the floor is. James just throws it up near the rim.
That's almost too easy for your liking, isn't it?
Way too easy. I mean, I like it.
Okay.
It's easy. But they don't have size at the rim to be able to deal with that. So they should be going to Malawach more, like John Shire told us today at shoot-around.
Shot clock down to 3. High arcing three, hit the top of the backboard, off the shot clock and out of bounds by Bailey. So Duke one more possession with 15 seconds remaining in the half. Shot clock is off for John Shire's team.
And these are the situations in game where I think John Shire's team is already growing. You're going to put the ball in Cooper Flag's hands. You're going to go with about 8 on the clock and let him go. Sometimes he wants a screen, sometimes he doesn't.
Flag contested. The rejection, Malawach was fouled. And come on, a chance to add 2 more to the ledger.
It's a great rebound in traffic by Malawach. What a good first half he has had for Duke. You go middle ball screen and let Cooper Flag make a choice.
10 first half points, make it 11 for number 9. Helped lead South Sudan to qualify for the Olympics in Paris last summer. And only scratching the surface with his potential thus far in his freshman campaign. Representing Came in averaging 4.5 boards per contest. 2 of 2 at the line. He's got 12. The lead back to 7. Heyman's got to throw it long, and he will. And the Blue Devils with their fewest points in a first half this season coming against Incarnate Word. 28-21 our score. 12 for Malawach to lead all scores. And the halftime report coming up right now from Cameron Indoor. Surprisingly close. Justin Walters, Carlos Boozer. Gentlemen, what did you see in the first 20? TC Men's Basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Best with confidence. Start of our second half back at Cameron Indoor. A 7-point lead for 4th-ranked Duke. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, and the story. Come on, Malawach. 12 first half points. He had just 4 in his last 2 games combined, Debbie.
Well, he's been a target on the inside. First on the defensive end. He's got a block shot here, and he alters and changes things and makes it difficult for the other team. But then on the offensive end, he puts it down on the floor. One dribble there, Roy, and he scores. He's got 4 baskets, all at the rim, all dunks. And then when you look at points in the paint, they have 12 as a team, only 2 other points. 12 for Malawach. But look right here. This is, come on, Malawach's shot chart. That's it.
it's right downstairs.
That's all it is.
Down low, that's it.
And it's effective. Well, he has 12 points. The team has 14 paint points. That means that there's only been 1 other basket in the paint. And for Duke, he's 4 for 4. The rest of the team combined 6 for 26 in the first half.
So I will ask you this question. Neither team had a single transition bucket. No transition points, no fast break points in the first 20 minutes. If you're Jon Scheyer and you want this game to open up in the second half, what button do you press? What do you do?
Well, you got to start with defense first, right? You got to pick up the full court pressure like you ended the first half. You got to be more aggressive. You might take some gambles and look to maybe trap. They did work on some of that. But you got to move the ball on the offensive end. You got to change the rhythm of the game. UIW is comfortable, and they have done a really good job in the first half, even though they haven't made a lot of shots.
Didn't make a lot of shots, but still was able to keep it close. It was a 1-possession game until the final minute of the first half.
I mean, you're this close, and you shot 26% from the floor.
Unthinkable.
In the first half. Right? Yes. So I don't know if the paint was falling off the wall in the locker room, but that works, and that has worked all game.
14 on the board, and a chance for one more. Well, the foul goes against Heyman. That's going to be his 3rd.
Just a great leave. And there's a transition bucket for you. A rim run and a dunk.
Malawach with 15. Really more than doubled his season average. Lead back to 10.
There's a trap and full court pressure. I like it.
Remember, Duke is off for a week. Their next game against George Mason a week from tonight. Coach Scheyer indicating to us they'll get tomorrow off, one more day off later this week, and all of a sudden game time is back, even with exams underway starting tomorrow. A little bit of a respite. A lot of travel and 3 road games before the start of the new year. Mid-range, no, and that was Bailey.
Really good possession. They start with a trap, full court, and they up their cadence on the defensive end, force a late shot clock.
Here's Knipple baseline, blocked off by Anderson. Malawach lost the handle for a moment, and is going to be tied up. It'll stay with the Cardinals. Excuse me, with Duke. Lead at 10. I think it's hard for teams this month. Non-conference play starts to conclude. Knipple's going to be banged down hard. He'll shoot 2. To maintain that focus,
it shouldn't be. And the reason why I say that is because you only get certain numbers of opportunities to play. As we see Knippel with a lob and Jordan Pike picking up the foul.
It's his second.
Listen, here's what I think. This is how I feel about it, Roy. You know, at Duke, you're going to play 30 games in the regular season, let's say. You're going to play 3 in the ACC tournament. You want to play 6 in the NCAA. You can't have a letdown. There's no downtime. You work so hard for opportunities to play. All the stuff you do in the summer, in the non-conference, leading into pushing tires up the hill backwards and, you know, all running in the sand, you know, all the stuff that they do that is painful and hard, right? To have an opportunity to play, you got to come ready. There's no excuses. It doesn't matter who the opponent is.
Largest lead at 12. 33-21, stop and pop, and graze the rim. Anderson no good.
So all of that means
Proctor.
you're going to have maybe 40 games to play.
But I mean, you're going to get a letdown in there.
No, there's no letdown.
James. And a timeout going to be called by UIW.
Now this is the way Duke shows up in their home arena.
With the V Foundation to highlight the urgent need for cancer research. This is game-changing research that helps save lives. You can join the fight right now against cancer by visiting v.org/donate. And remember, 100% of that donation goes directly to cancer research.
I texted with Dickie V today because I was checking on him to see how he was doing, but I also wanted to see what he wanted us to share tonight on the Duke broadcast, and he said he wants to make sure everybody buys a ticket to win a Porsche. It's a $100 raffle. You go to v.org/Vital raffle, and that's where you can spend $100 for the V Foundation.
Dickie V, we're thinking about you. We hope you are doing well on this evening. You know he's dialed in.
Oh, he's watching. I think he's watching. Coach, we're pulling for you, man.
We are.
We love you and we miss you. We're ready for you to come back.
Keep fighting. 14-point lead for UIW out of the Southland. Three-pointer, no, that was Bailey.
So this goes from 7 to 14, just like that, because Duke picks up their effort on the defensive end.
And you can feel it up here. Proctor, Cooper Flag was shoved. Davion Bailey snuck in, trying to prevent the layup. He'll pick up the personal.
You know, this is an example of what John Shire was telling us today about Cooper Flag, how unselfish he is. He's had a couple screen and roll opportunities. He had a post-up opportunity early on a mismatch. He's taken 1-3. He's really not been as aggressive as what I think Coach Shire would like for him to be at times, but I think that's the unselfish nature with which he plays.
He said he's a sponge. He absorbs everything, but he wants to lift up others before he gets his. And at times, they're going to have to remind him, hey, it's okay to get after and get those points and set the tone for the rest of this team.
Tone is the key word right there, because at 17 years of age, he's the hardest worker in the gym, and he's their best player. And any coach would think that's a dream to have.
Don't you think that that emerges the deeper we go into this season, that he's going to be not necessarily more comfortable, but simply understand at a deeper level, this has got a chance to be not necessarily his team, but at times it could be when they need it to be. That makes sense.
I don't think there's any question.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen in the games where late game situation, Shire's calling his number. And Sion James. There's a transition bucket for you, Roy.
Transition bucket for the Tulane transfer and a chance for 3. Not sure how he got that to go, but it went.
He's so strong, and he handles like a football player, you know, like that contact balance thing where you can't knock a guy off his line. Look at the size of Sion James. I mean, he's built for contact.
6'6", 225. Maybe he can play for Manny Diaz here.
Yeah, definitely.
Over Wallace Wade. A rebound cleared by Jaden Williams. Lead at 16. Carter Ward without a single point to begin the second half. It was a 7-point game at the break. Dylan Heyman picked up the dribble. Here's TJ Ford Jr. 3 to shoot. The crossover and the three. Out of bounds. Back to the Blue Devils. Different game, a different feel to begin the second half.
Right. Remember the beginning I was saying, John Shire's got to force them to call an early timeout. That never happened. Second half starts. As soon as the second half starts, early timeout for UIW. Right? That's what you want your team to do. And then I'm sure he mentioned something to them about, I don't want them to get the ball across midcourt. Right?
Did he say it like that?
Something like that.
That may have been a lob.
That was definitely a lob.
It went in, bounced out, and they're going to take a look at this. And John Shire will get an explanation. We're at Hampton. Right over there quickly. We'll take a look as we hit this next break. In and out.
I think
that's 2 points.
That's 2 points.
A lot of times you go to a baseball game and you'll claim that you've seen something that you've never seen before. That's what that sport prides itself on. I've never seen this in basketball. Malawach dunks the ball. It goes through the rim as expected, not all the way through the net, and then it comes back out, and it was not touched by Jaden Williams. There was no contact. This veteran officiating crew reviewed this sequence just as you see it now, and it is not 2 points for Duke. The dunk was missed. You explain to me how the ball popped back out of the rim.
Well, I don't understand the science of it, but the ball has to clear the net, and that's why it's not 2 points. But that would be Malawach's first miss of the game. And I've not seen that before. Did the net whip the ball back out? I thought if it crossed the rim.
The plane of the rim, that would be 2.
What about when you go into arenas and they have short nets because they're fast break nets versus long nets? There's a difference in the length of the net, right?
Jalen Anderson picks up his 3rd foul. There is.
Sometimes there is.
We thought originally that Williams poked it back out, but he did not have contact with the basketball as Malawach dunked it. And so again,
put that on the case book. Send that to Brian Kersey right now.
I have never seen that.
Brian Kersey runs the officials in the ACC.
Well, clearly the rim rattle helped get the basketball back up and out.
I've not seen that before. But I'll tell you what, the way he can rattle the rim, there is an extra basket here. You might need another backup to the backup.
I had to take physics twice to pass it in college, and that's one of the reasons why, because that does not make mathematical sense to me. Maybe 3 times. Maybe it was more than twice. Lead at 18. The free throw by Cooper Flagg. So Flagg now with 6 points. Only 2 of 8 from the floor. Shot clock down to 2. Cardinals without a bucket so far in the second half, and a shot clock violation.
That's really good D. Deep into the shot clock. John Shire has to be pleased with the effort here in the first 5 minutes of the second half. This has been their best 5 minutes of basketball tonight.
Blue Devils will get the week off before George Mason comes to Durham a week from tonight. And then conference play is underway virtually right after that. As you get closer to Christmas, already 1 league game in the books. They'll come back at Louisville. What do you make of the Cardinals this year in the ACC? Under Pat Kelsey, year 1, it feels like that they're vastly improved, but injured. Yeah,
there's no question. As Proctor draws a foul, good ball movement by Duke. Cason Pryor out for the year. Corin Johnson out for the year. Those are issues for depth, which Pat Kelsey has built his winning culture around. Incredible effort and energy and really good defensive rotation and discipline, and then shooting a lot of threes. So they are significantly better than they've been. Remember, Louisville's only won 12 games the last 2 years. I had them in the Bahamas. I thought they were outstanding. But losing Cason Pryor is a big loss.
I saw a couple of videos that went viral from some of those games. It's great to see, by the way. 39-21 off the turnover. And the foul was called on Jalen Anderson. That's his 4th for UIW. Pat Kelsey just screams energy.
Yeah. Well, I think he needs a GPS on him in practice. I'm already calling dibs on that story. I want to see how far he runs in practice every day.
Perhaps a simple step counter. We can see how many steps, maybe 20,000 steps a session.
I want the whole GPS like the players.
Oh, gotcha.
I want to see if what his load management is in practice. How about this defense still? UIW has not scored, so they got to find a way to get an easy one. Get downhill, get to the free throw line. Here's a situational offense, a sideline out of bounds play.
From 15, floater, no. Bailey's missed, corralled by James.
So one of the things that Duke's defense has done is sped up UIW, and that's what it was designed to do, and it's forced them late into the shot clock and maybe made a little bit uncomfortable offensively, where I thought they were very comfortable in the first half.
See on James, right side of the paint, and a late whistle. Bailey, the infraction. See on James going to shoot two. It's an interesting roster when you think about the three freshmen starting we've discussed, and some of the veteran experience that is back and is transferred in here to Durham. It's a nice combination. You have to think as we get deeper and closer to conference play, it all starts to gel and mesh. Who knows what the potential of this team is. You were talking with Mark Packer before we came on ACCPM, and you said point blank, it's a national championship caliber team this year.
I don't think there's any question. They put a schedule in front of them that has allowed them to grow, make some mistakes early, right? Figure out some situational things late game. I mean, the freshmen have got to grow up in a hurry. Like, they're talented. They're not as experienced, but they got big game experience already in their non-conference, which is going to set them up for the ACC. And I wouldn't be sleeping on Clemson and Pitt. I think they are both outstanding basketball teams.
Clemson beat the same Kentucky team that defeated Duke, and there's the first points of the second half for the Cardinals. It was Dylan Heyman. He's got 6. I think a lot of people forget Clemson made a run to the Elite 8 last season. P.J. Hall is gone. Ian Shefflin has been impressive. So is Caleb Foster for the Blue Devils.
Ian Shefflin leads the nation in rebounding right now. And he gets 12 a game, and he gets 4 on the offensive end.
How many do you have against Kentucky? Like 20?
Yeah, 20. Extra effort, constant energy. Really good skill set go with all that effort, too.
They're also high on Pittsburgh, and Jeff Capel, the great job he's done there. They've recruited well. A lot of nice experience back in the Steel City. Gumba the rebound. Here comes Duke. I think the ACC is in search of those other teams and who's going to be there by the time we get to March. It's going to be an offensive foul. James picks up his 3rd. Now coming up Saturday afternoon, the ACC Network men's basketball doubleheader. How about Syracuse Georgetown squaring off 2:30 Eastern, then Jameer Watkins, Florida State take on Tulane. The second game of that doubleheader at 4:30 Eastern, the Auto Nation Orange Bowl Classic in Sunrise. Syracuse and Georgetown could play in just about any sport, and I think people would want to watch. TJ Ford Jr. the lob, and the finish by Robinson.
How about that spurt ability by TJ Ford Jr.? His dad is in the house. 2003 Naismith Player of the Year. Helped Rick Barnes at Texas to the 03 Final Four.
Gunba flings it up. I wasn't ready for TJ Ford's son to be already in college and this good. That makes me feel, I don't know, older than I want to be.
Yeah, we don't want to say that.
Ford was a great player.
Watch the sprint up the middle of the floor by TJ Ford. He splits the D.
Back to ACC Network basketball presented by T. Rowe Price. Lead at 18. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. One of the great Cameron traditions taking place right before our very eyes, Debbie.
I wonder how you get to be the guy that gets to carry the baby around for the game.
I'm sure it is a prestigious.
It's got to be. It probably has something to do with ACT, SAT scores, I'm guessing.
I would not be the one that would be designated that. Yeah, it was 3 physics classes I took before I finally got out. No.
You can't fail those classes to get that opportunity to carry that baby.
I was disqualified. Shot clock at 12, and Pike's going to get a chance to go to the free throw line. Jordan Pike.
Yeah, it gives us a chance to talk about Jordan Pike a little bit. From Greensboro, North Carolina, grew up a Tar Heel fan. Division II player from Union University.
Second foul on Caleb Foster. He's got about 30 friends and family here tonight. And you could tell he was highly energized in our conversation with him this morning. To be able to come back playing basketball in San Antonio, the Cardinals, and then just a stone's throw from where he went to high school, and he transferred around to a couple of different schools during his prep career. And he's yet to crack the scoring column, and this student section would love back-to-back missed free throws. Points per game this season for number 7. That's his first point of the night.
2-2-1. Fall back into their man-to-man defense. Good D right there on the catch by Dylan Heyman.
Pass goes to Evans, bumped on the way up. Free throws coming for number 3, blue and white.
Watch the D right here by Heyman. Get 2 feet in the paint. There you see the foul.
First on Williams.
It's one of the things Coach Shire was working on today with his team. You know, reading, getting into that second level, making the right read, playing off 2 feet. That's the thing that Kneppel does really well. You know, he can shoot it, and he's got textbook form, but he controls the ground. He's not a high flyer. He's a guy that he knows how to make reads. He cuts well, he cuts hard. He's got good space and rhythm to his game.
Wisconsin Gatorade Player of the Year last season. Now in Durham, and that pass from Ford sails out of bounds. I do want to get your take on Isaiah Evans, because we saw him take over the comeback win against Auburn. The 6 threes in the first half. And I mean, it was incredible, the shooting display that he put on. And Duke, remember, was down 13-2 right out of the gate. And then Isaiah Evans had it.
Well, he's made 13 threes and 2 two-point baskets, so that's a scout right now, right? He did get 10 minutes in the Louisville game. As Kneppel does a great job of setting his feet under his shoulders. That's what I'm talking about, knowing how to cut. We'll finish talking about Isaiah Evans, the 6'6", 175-pound freshman.
Now Kneppel now with 10 after this latest 3.
Watch Kneppel do a great job of setting up his defense, playing off the Mason Gillis screen. And look how solid his footwork is. He's got a strong, solid base, high release, eyes on the target, elbow under the ball. It's beautiful.
Back to Evans.
He's thin. He's athletic. He's got to earn his minutes in practice, right? I mean, we're not in practice every day. But what a debut, basically. I mean, in Cameron to make 6 threes, it's a dream come true for anybody who grew up in North Carolina. There's an example right there of this, what I'm talking about in his skill set.
29 of the 33 field goal attempts from 3-point range.
An off season in the weight room will definitely do him some good.
And Gungba trying to bust through. Appeared to be a screen set near the elbow, and called for the foul. Pat Gungba getting more playing time with Malik Brown out tonight for the Blue Devils. And a 5-second violation, second one tonight we've seen for Incarnate Word.
I mean, it's like a tale of two halves for the Duke defense, right? I mean, they've allowed only 4 points here in the second half. Done a fantastic job being disruptive. They've got shot clock violations. They've been able to get 5-second count, and they got an open three for Isaiah Evans. Really nice job by Caleb Foster to set that up.
Evans with 5. First field goal of the night for the freshman.
Getting a piece of the paint is like gravity. You know, you're pulling people in, you're sucking them in a little bit, just enough to get some space on the perimeter.
By TJ Ford. They'll bounce that one out of bounds, but it was last touched by Duke and perhaps kicked in that direction.
Watch Isaiah Evans right here, and he's going to lift as the penetration goes to the middle. This is a very well-designed play. There's the 45 cut by Gungbo. It leaves a lot of space for Isaiah Evans to knock down an open three.
Do you have a telestrator in your living room at home?
I have been waiting for a telestrator to fall off a truck and land in my living room.
That was brilliant. Here's a turnover. Foster, nudge. And the shot will not count. Foul on the floor. Blue Devils in the bonus. And the lead at 25. Foster misses the front end. And a foul against the Blue Devils on the attempted rebound. Coming up Sunday, 6 Eastern, after our women's basketball triple header, the Nothing But Net crew will break down the day in the ACC, highlights and analysis every women's game, and look ahead to the best matchups on the schedule in the coming week. Got you covered all season right here on ACC Network, the ESPN app. Stop an 8-0 run as Hallaby picks up the bucket. And now Foster on the attack, rejected out of bounds. Jaden Williams. On the floor for Duke. And the rebound comes to Mason Gillis, outside to Evans. Second three ball of the half. He's got 8.
He can fill it up.
Here's Ford. Oh, brilliant lob to Jaden Williams.
Another great lead by TJ Ford Jr. at the rim.
He's got a different burst to him. It reminds you of what his dad used to do in Texas.
He has separation speed.
A little downshift. Harris, no. Fifth game we've seen Darren Harris this year, freshman out of Virginia. Was 3 of 6 from deep before that miss. We've talked a lot about Duke's defense in the second half. Carter Word only with 9 points and stepping out on the shove. And we'll stay with the Cardinals when we come back. 54-30 as we step aside in Cameron.
Congratulations go out to coach Mike Krzyzewski and Muffet McGraw, both today named the Naismith Most Outstanding Contributor to Basketball. It is an incredible honor and a high award. Both of these coaches have served the game so well and have done so much for basketball and for all the student athletes that they have coached during their time, respectively, at Duke and at Notre Dame. Congratulations, Coach K. I hope you're sitting in front of the fire with your feet up with a glass of wine with Mickey, enjoying the second half.
Coach, hope you're doing well. enjoy his show on Sirius XM too. Do a great job with that. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott, 54-30. Less than 8 minutes remaining at Cameron. Quarter 3, too strong.
You know, I was up in the office today with John Jackson, and Coach Key, his office is across from Coach K's. I've been in Coach K's office before. And when you come off the elevator up there are the 5 national championship trophies sitting there. And I said, John, how come they're up here where no one can see them? He's like, oh, we probably have some replicas around, and there's probably some in the locker room. And that could be a full-time job, being the person that dusts the trophies at Duke.
It's a daily task with a number that you have to keep clean.
There's a lot. Oh, I'm sure Zion Williamson's National Player of the Year is probably on some shelf somewhere. Shane Battier's National Defensive Player of the Year award somewhere. Right?
Heyman just banked in a 3.
And they have that beautiful museum in the front of the building, too.
It is gorgeous. Malawatch now with 17. Highest point total we've seen from him so far. And John Shire told us he thought it could be that kind of night for Kaman Malawatch. And here's a look at the 5 banners hanging here at Cameron.
The one thing about Coach K's office, because I did have an opportunity to spend some time with him in there a year ago when we did a special feature on Coach K. When he has his desk, and behind his desk there's representation of the 5 national championships, but it's not trophies, it's hugs with him and his players. I think it's very telling about the kind of relationship building that's required to win at that level, and how much you celebrate together once you accomplish something like that. I just thought it was kind of cool that there could have been a lot of things behind his desk, but there are pictures of hugs with his players.
Relationships.
Yeah, it's awesome.
58-33. Ford picked up that last foul. A couple of free throws by Foster. Incarnate Word with just 12 second-half points. There's 7 minutes remaining. Here's Ford again behind the back. We'll get another chance at a fresh 20. They'll say that first shot didn't graze the rim, and so Duke gets it back on the rebound. Interesting second half tonight.
Good roll request.
Gillis. Harris was hit hard, and a foul is going to be called. Came down right at the elbow. Darren Harris, a freshman.
The one thing that Malawatch does exceptionally well is he screens and then he hard rolls to the front of the rim. And when you do that every time, because he's not a pick and pop guy now, but when he rolls like that, he creates a lot of space. So the replace when you lift up, or the fill behind that drive or that roll, creates a lot of opportunities for Duke, and it's really not scoutable. These guys are working on being unpredictable in their rhythm of their offense and what they run and the actions that they run.
17, the best we've seen in a Duke uniform so far for Kaman. Freshman out of South Sudan. And a breather. Certainly something to build upon tonight with what he's brought to the table. A size advantage, sure.
I mean, that's an imposing threat at the rim on both ends of the floor.
Harris 5 of 10 now at the line. He did 6 of 11 this season.
And Duke does a great job of bringing him away. This is not a back-to-the-basket post-up game, right? Everything is cut in space, a lot of ball screen, and he's a heavy ball screen guy. And when he comes up and sets a screen in the middle third, when he rolls hard to the rim, there's a lot of action that you can play off of.
Heyman connects with the mid-range. Dylan Heyman has been active, 11 points this evening. Make it 22. Evans thought that maybe he got tapped on the head.
That's a brilliant flare screen right there. And that's knowing personnel, okay? Everyone knows Isaiah Evans wants to shoot the 3. So you set the flare for him so he can get a wide open look, and he's already seen a big basket here in the second half.
11 points, 3 triples. All those coming in the second half. Anderson putting on a dribbling clinic outside. Heyman an air ball. And here's James. Gumba inside the dunk. First points of the night.
Remember you said no transition points in the first half?
That's changed. That's changed, hasn't it?
Yes, it's a great job of running to the corners, keeping it simple, keeping the floor spread, but running with a purpose.
John Shire referred to the corners as Siberia before this game. Perhaps it's more like the Bahamas tonight. Well, maybe that's a stretch. And a foul on the shot. That'll go on Sean James.
So Isaiah Evans is having a great game right here. Here he is with the ball, right? Now he's going to move it, okay? Now watch the action. Now freeze it right here. Here's the screen, and he's getting behind that screen for a flare. It's a really good pass by Gillis, almost like a timing play. Gillis putting it on the money and allowing Isaiah Evans to step into it. 3 for 5 from the three-point line.
Free sub on the line with another missed free throw. Anderson 73% at the line this season and 1 of 2. The crone from the student section. Free food has to wait, Debbie. Free food in college, is there anything better than that?
No. Ever.
Free pizza, free food. Under 4 to play. Evans.
Exactly. That's not overcoaching it. That is running the same set. And I don't think John Shire is calling that. I think the guys on the floor recognize that they can get that. And John Shire doesn't want to call every set.
Mentioned that to us today several times. Evans, 14 in the second half. The runner by Anderson. Find number 3. Where is he? Spencer Hubbard getting set to check in for the first time this season. Open look for Anderson. He's got 5 in the last 2 possessions for the Cardinals.
Well, Shane Hireman is going to go back and watch this film, and he's going to be really proud of the effort his guys gave in the first half, even though they didn't shoot it well. But definitely solutions to some of their issues and matching up against the best here at Duke.
Darren Harris from downtown and a timeout called by John Shire. Isaiah Evans, the hot hand, 14 coming in the second half.
Just a great flare screen. Evans steps into it, and then back-to-back plays, exactly the same set. Back-to-back buckets for Evans.
Basketball is presented by T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Debbie Antonelli, Roy Philpott. Crazies. Well, they've been crazy in the second half. 70-41 our score. And I mentioned earlier Spencer Hubbard on the verge of entering the contest. He has played in 3 previous games this season. Out of Los Angeles, his mom Beth attended Duke, and well, it's great to see some of the little used reserves make their way on the floor. The old double nickel, number 55, Mr. Hubbard.
Yes, I love it. He was a scout team guy, then a walk-on. Now he's on scholarship, and he's at the top of the Duke defense.
He was giving the first team a good look today at shoot-around.
Looks like Duke showing some zone right here for first possession of the game.
3, no by Heyman. Cleared by Gumba. Here comes Hubbard. He does have that 3 this year. Gumba double team, puts it up and in. Second bucket for 21. Give him 6.
Duke back to their man-to-man.
One and 3 is short by Bailey. But clears. Hubbard picked up by Anderson. And an offensive foul on the screen. That'll be called on Gillis. ACC PM with Mark Packard, Taylor Tannenbaum, weekdays 4 Eastern, right here on the ACC Network, ESPN app. Saw Debbie Antonelli hanging out with the crew pre-game right here from the Crow's Nest at Cameron.
Anytime Mark Packard wants me to come on his show, I do it. Me and Pac. Pac-Man.
ACC legend himself.
He had a knee Schroff in there with him today. I love it.
Drummond checks in for Incarnate Word. You know this is going to be a highlight for him. Number 99. He comes in blazing. Begovic the rebound. Stanford transfer, number 20 for Duke. Aaron Harris operating at the elbow. Outside to Hubbard. This place was ready to erupt. That was a clean look. Ryan Van Eck on the floor for Incarnate Word, and that's going to be a triple by Reedy. Harrison Reedy, redshirt freshman from South Dakota. First points.
Way to go, Roy.
Everybody deserves their moment in the sun.
That's right.
Right?
Exactly.
Hubbard corralled the pass. Here comes the drive. And the dish. And at the rebound. Reedy, another three.
Reedy's coming out firing, too.
Not bashful. I mean, my point is, if you've been sitting on the bench all season, you get a moment like this at Cameron. I'm on the floor, I'm chucking it up. It's
Absolutely.
going up,
No
right?
question, yep. We saw you shooting today, Roy.
I got my shots up. It wasn't pretty. Van Eck up and in. Shot clock is off. Duke tested early and responds late in the second half. Dominant. Outscoring Incarnate Word 44-25 after leading by 7 at halftime. Blue Devils improved to 8-2 and a week off after this win against the team from the Southland. Debbie?
Made UIW feel them in the second half with their defense. They completely changed the tempo of the game. They came out with full court pressure. They showed some trap. They got up and defended at a higher level that sped up the game and allowed them to separate. This was just a, what was a 7-point game at halftime, right? Quickly went to 14 because the Duke defense turned it up a notch.
72-46, the final. Blue Devils 8-2, ranked in the top 5 in America. Incarnate Word falls to 5-6. For Debbie Antonelli, I'm Roy Philpott. We say good night from Cameron Indoor. Let's get you back to the studio. Justin and Carlos Boozer.